Your life will only move in the direction of the vision you're willing to write down. In this episode, we're talking about how your thoughts can keep you stuck, why you're allowed to change your mind about the life that you want, and how writing the vision down creates the clarity needed to actually achieve it. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the Pretty Aligned Podcast, the space where we shift perspectives, reframe the way we think, and step into alignment with who we're truly meant to be. I'm your host, Octavia Darling, and every week we'll have real conversations that help you reset your mindset, overcome limiting beliefs, and create a life that feels good from the inside out. So grab your coffee, your tea, your journal, or just your open mind and get ready to receive. Let's get into it. Last week's episode, we talked about detaching from old versions, old habits, and old stories so you can finally step into what's next. From the feedback that I've received thus far, it's the mindset shift that a lot of us need at this time. So please listen to that episode when you feel led to. Now here's a few gentle reminders. The Mindset Matters digital playbook is for you. I designed this playbook for the person who knows they're called for more, but feels stuck, unsure, or out of alignment. This playbook will teach you how to reframe your mindset and become the best version of yourself. So make sure that you grab your copy today. I also offer one-on-one coaching opportunities for creatives and entrepreneurs who are so tired of guessing, overthinking, and doing everything alone. During our coaching session, I will teach you everything about content creation, social media management, monetization, strategy, analytics, and so much more. After our sessions, you will walk away with clarity, confidence, and a plan you can actually execute. All of this information is listed in the show notes. Your thoughts can either guide you or hold you hostage. See, sometimes the biggest thing that's stopping you isn't your circumstances. It's the narrative you keep repeating in your mind. And y'all, I'm going to put a disclaimer out before we really get into this episode and just say, I'm talking to myself today. Okay? I'm talking to y'all, but I'm also talking to myself. See, overthinking your next step can really keep you stuck in a loop because you continue to talk yourself out of opportunities, right? Or you believe that it's way too late to change directions. But the truth is, you feel stuck because you don't see the full path yet. Our thoughts create limits that don't actually exist. And this is something that I am unlearning. Sometimes I can be so fixated on one thing that I am not allowing my mind to see the big picture. And because of that, limiting beliefs are being planted in my mind. And it's stopping me from actually being the person that I want to be. Some of us are not stuck in life. We're actually stuck in a thought pattern. So how do you reframe this? You need to start questioning the thoughts that you keep believing. Why do you believe your life cannot get better? Why do you believe that you are a failure? Why do you believe that you cannot want more for yourself? Why do you believe these things? Realize that clarity comes from decision, not perfection. See, we are allowed to change our mind about our lives. Whoever told you that the plan that you had when you were in grade school, that you wanted to be this superstar, or you wanted to be this doctor, or you wanted to be a lawyer, or you wanted to be an entrepreneur, whoever told you that that's the plan that you had to stick with lied to you, because the version of you today might want something different than the version of you 5, 10, 15, even 20 years ago. And guess what? That's okay. It's okay to outgrow old dreams. And this is something I've been telling myself lately. Octavia, it is okay if what you wanted yesterday is not what you want today. It's okay if you keep changing your mind because you are still unfulfilled. It is okay if you thought you had the answer but quickly realized this is just not it. You know why? Because you're allowing yourself to try again, to think deeper, to test things out and see what actually works, what is truly sticking. It is okay if you want to change your career path. Who cares if you've been at this company for 20 plus years? It is okay if you decide, you know what, this job just doesn't fulfill me and I want to be a pastry chef instead. It is okay if you decide, you know what, even though I went to school to become a nurse and I spent a lot of money on tuition and I'm so close to the finish line, I actually want to do hair instead. It is okay for you to change your mind. It is okay for us to redefine what success looks like. See, for a long time, for me, success was freedom. It still is, but there's more to it now. Success was being able to do things on my own terms. Success was being able to get paid for doing what I love. But now success to me looks like that plus more. And what is that more? Success looks like me being able to take care of my family, me being able to give back, me being able to share my story with others so that it transforms their lives and reframes their mindset, me being able to impact a child's life. Success to me looks like being able to leave my impression on this world, knowing that I have been fulfilling my purpose all along. Success for me looks like choosing peace over pressure. It looks like going after the things that makes me feel uncomfortable instead of running away from it because it's challenging. Success to me looks like doing whatever it takes to make it. If I want to be the best at everything that I do, then I need to be willing to do whatever it takes to get there. I need to be able to make those sacrifices. I need to be able to stop making excuses and putting the blame on everyone else but Octavia. Many people feel guilty for pivoting, but not me. I embrace the pivot. This is something that I tell my coaching clients all of the time. We pivot and we find another way, because guess what? Things will not always go exactly as we planned. But in that moment of discovery, you have to be open to pivoting and finding another way. There is more than one way to get to your destination. Have you ever typed in an address on a GPS and it only gave you one route to take? Imagine if you did not have any other options. They give you fast routes. They give you the fastest routes. They give you the avoid tolls routes, and you get to decide which one you take. So to think that you're limited to what is being presented to you, to think that you're limited to just that one way, that one direction, that one route is silly. We pivot and we find another way. Maybe the route that you're on right now, there's an accident and it's holding you back. It's holding you back from getting to your destination. Okay, we pivot and we find another way. See, growth requires updates. Just because you once chose that path doesn't mean you have to stay on it. Just because you're so used to going the same way to work, you're so used to going the same way to the gym, you're so used to that same routine every single day, it doesn't mean you have to stay on it. We pivot and we find another way. How do we do this? By releasing outdated expectations, and accepting that evolution is normal. I titled this episode Write the Vision and Make It Plain because a lot of us do not have a clear vision. So I was watching an interview the other day with one of the most influential speakers, Wallow267, and in that interview, he mentioned how a lot of us are floaters. We don't have an end game. What is your end game? And when he asked that question, it did something to me. It shook my spirit because I had to reflect for a moment. Hold on, Octavia. What is your end game here? What is your vision? Sometimes we can get so caught up in doing the thing that we don't even realize that we don't have a clear enough vision to know where exactly we're going. Writing the vision creates direction. If the vision stays in your head, it stays unclear. This is why you need to write it down, because it helps you to remember the bigger picture. Why am I doing this podcast? Why am I a content creator? Why am I a photographer and videographer? Why am I a brand coach? Ask yourself these questions. Why are you doing the things that you're doing? Why are you so bent on getting a promotion at your job? Why do you want the other position? What is your end goal? When you write the vision, you're able to remember the bigger picture, and now you can break the vision into achievable goals. I'm doing this tech talk. I'm doing it. See, I have a podcast because I know that my voice is supposed to be heard amongst the masses. My end goal is to one day do a TED talk. I'm a brand coach because I love helping creatives have a clear direction on what their purpose is so that they can align with it and create authentic brands. My end goal is to transform thousands of creatives' lives and minds. I have my photography and videography because I like to take pictures and I like to film. But my end goal is to allow my brand to be a creative playground where I showcase my art without any limitations. So now that I have the vision, I wrote it down and I'm making it plain. Now I'm able to not only see the big picture, to not only break the vision into achievable goals, but to also stay focused when distractions appear. You can create vision boards, mood boards. I love a good mood board. Y'all, I create mood boards all the time on Pinterest. You can journal it out. Maybe you can map out your goals. These are just ways for you to revisit the vision when motivation fades. You need a visual of what that big picture is. What is your end game here? See, vision without structure stays a dream. When the vision is written, the path then becomes visible. So I encourage you to write down what you truly want and break it into steps. All right, love, let's go over some relatable scenarios during this hot seat coaching segment. Remember, I always welcome you to let me know what's going on in your world that needs a reframe. Send your scenario to me and I just might coach you on the podcast. The link to the submission form is listed in the show notes. So here's some relatable scenarios that we're going to go over. And I will say, at some point in my life, I have identified with both of these. The first one is the person who feels lost. You're the type of person who knows that you want more for your life, but you honestly don't know what that looks like. Maybe you feel unfulfilled. Maybe you're moving through life without direction. Or maybe you're waiting for clarity to just magically appear. Clarity often comes through writing and reflection. So I really do encourage you to write freely about the life that you want. It doesn't have to make sense at first, but this is a way for you to fully express yourself without limitations. And then when you're done expressing yourself, read back through it and pick out the things that actually stands out, and then create an actual end game plan. You don't find the vision by waiting. You discover it by exploring. You need to explore life. You need to explore your mind. You need to allow yourself to explore itself to see what is it that you actually like. What do you really want? The second scenario, maybe you're the person who keeps changing their mind, and you think, every time I decide what I want to do, I second guess myself. Maybe you have the fear of making the wrong decision, or the pressure to stick to one identity, or just the fear of judgment from others. The best advice that I can give you is that changing your mind isn't failure, it's growth. Vision evolves as you evolve. So if you think that the vision you have today is going to be the vision that you have next week, you're mistaken. Maybe it's not. The point that I want you to grasp is that you may have to keep writing the vision. You may need to revise it more than once until you feel this is it. The goal is not to never change your mind. The goal is to stay honest about what aligns with you now. Because when the vision is clear, the steps become easier to take. Now, here are a few questions that I want you all to reflect on. What does the life I truly want actually look like? Am I holding on to a dream that no longer aligns with who I've become? What vision have I been afraid to write down? And what would my life look like if I gave myself permission to change direction? The vision for your life isn't meant to stay in your head. It's meant to guide your actions. So write it down, make it clear, and start moving into that direction one step at a time. Thank you for hanging out with me today on the Pretty Aligned podcast. I hope something in this episode gave you a fresh perspective or a new way to see yourself. Remember, small shifts create big change. If you love today's conversation, share this with a friend who needs it, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next reset. Until then, keep aligning, keep growing, and keep becoming the best version of you. I'll see you in the next episode.